Best Afflictor Broadheads for whitetails coming right up. I get a lot of calls, people that are new and some that aren't new to archery and hunting, wanting to know what is the best broadhead for whitetails. Well, for our line, of course, the first thing we're going to ask you is, what is your setup? Are you trad? Are you using a compound? Are you using a crossbow? And then more details after that. What is your total arrow weight? What is your spine? And we'll talk a little bit maybe about FOC when they call, if they're unfamiliar with that, KE, momentum. Hit on all those things a little bit, making sure that they're getting the best broadhead for their setup. Now, often we buy a broadhead because it looks great or looks awesome in the packaging, and we forget that our bows have an appetite, and we need to be able to adjust our setups according to that appetite to achieve success. Now, when it comes to whitetail, it's relatively a thin-skinned, big game animal. It really doesn't take a lot of craziness to kill a whitetail with a broadhead. But it is important to have a broadhead that flies straight, is very durable, it's dependable, and it does the type of cutting you want so you get the blood trail that you're looking for. So let's start with trad real quick and talk about some of the popular broadheads for our trad hunters. Certainly our K2 fixed is real popular for our trad guys. One of the reasons is this broadhead comes in 100, 125, 150, 175, and 200 grains. And so it's really formidable for the traditional shooters. I would say that our most popular broadhead for our trad guys is our more traditional looking fixed EXT. And it's popular as well because it goes from 100 to 200 grains. And once you get above that 150 mark, you're looking at a solid stainless steel broadhead. So for our trad guys, this 1.25" cut fixed EXT is extremely popular. So it's a good one to consider there. However, we have some trad guys that are a little bit on the side of being non-traditional, and they are actually shooting our heavyweight mini series. So these are available in 150 and 175. And basically, since this broadhead acts as a fixed blade at entrance, once that drive key comes back, it locks these blades in place. It's kind of considered a fixed blade to some of these traditional hunters. And we've seen some great success on some big game in North America and even in Africa and Alaska with caribou, with trad guys using the heavier hybrids. So it's something to keep in consideration if you want to try something new and different on your traditional setup. For our compound guys, most of them, when we talk about whitetails, they want the biggest cut that they can get in the Afflictor line. And so that leaves them with two main choices. We have our original K2 hybrid, which is an 1.75" cut, and we have our Hybrid X, which is an 1.75" cut. The difference in these two broadheads is the tip. Of course, the K2 has our wide angle tip and a consistent blade angle, comes in 100 and 125, and our Hybrid X has our EXT tip where the blades you can see just slightly sweep out after the base of the tip. Also available in 100 and 125 grains. And because of these are our biggest cut, they are certainly our most popular for our whitetail hunters. Now, when we talk about our whitetail hunters in the compound bow range and they are looking for something maybe that's going to give them an increased penetration potential for low poundage, our Hybrid X Mini is very popular along with our K2 Mini. But the Hybrid X Mini with this steep angled tip and slightly swept out blades does a really good job for low poundage shooters for whitetails. So you have a lot of choices here on both the traditional and compound side for good broadheads for whitetails. Lastly, I want to talk about crossbows. So when Afflictor considers crossbows, we don't particularly recommend our hybrids on the crossbow platforms. We did specifically develop our fixed blades to fly good, if not great, on your crossbows, especially high-speed crossbows. So hands down, without thinking about it, the favorite broadhead for crossbows for us and across the board for a lot of guys is the K2 fixed. this broadhead flies fantastic out of even the highest speed crossbows. The new Ravens are shooting it like a dart, as well as the 10 points. There's a lot of great reports coming out of the field right now, since we're in the midst of October, of guys having great success with this K2 fixed out of the crossbow. And also there's some variations here that allow you to experiment with FOC on your crossbow. If you're into a little bit heavier arrow builds, this broadhead as well will go up to 200 grains. So you have a lot of different choices there for your crossbow. So when you're considering broadheads as a whole, there's an entire range, of course, of phenomenal broadheads on the market today. Lots of great manufacturers. And so you have a lot to pick from, and some tough choices to make. But do a little bit of research. Watch some videos online. Watch some of the independent testing that's online about not only our broadheads, but other broadheads. Kind of narrow it down to what you like best. What are you looking for in a broadhead? Things that are most important to you. Is it flying straight? What kind of penetration am I going to get? What kind of cut does it have? And what's its durability? Do I expect my broadhead to be reusable, resharpenable? Those are all key factors that you should consider every time you pick a broadhead.